You can be the prettiest version of yourself and still hate the way you look like in the mirror. And I promise you, it's not because of your hair, your nose, your features, the littlest things that you keep on picking about yourself. What is happening is that the world has convinced you that beauty is whatever is acceptable, okay? Whatever is acceptable to men, whatever is acceptable to trends, whatever is acceptable to strangers, okay? Even this, what's acceptable to the version of pretty in the world that is being praised right now, that is what is happening, okay? And I need you to hear this from me, okay? When you let the world define what is beauty, you are letting them define your value, okay? And my love, I promise you, you deserve way more than that, okay? Because that is fleeting. So keep on listening, because I really do believe this conversation, it's going to change the way you think, okay? And that is the goal of this podcast. So I'm excited. And before I even talk about this, I'm going to introduce myself and this lovely podcast, because it's going to be an amazing episode. So, hello, my loves. My name's Daniela, and on here I help women stop playing small and start elevating with their lives. I didn't even say the name. This podcast is called Elevate Her Path, because I'm going to be helping you guys elevate every single part of your life. That is my goal with this podcast. Also, if you hear this audio and it feels cleaner, it feels smoother, it feels louder, it feels fresher, well, guess what? I got an expensive mic. Okay, so this better be worth all the pennies I paid for this, okay? I really do hope that you guys hear the quality difference, because this channel, this podcast, I'm investing into it because I know that I'm going to be investing more into you guys. And I really do hope you guys get the value from this. So if you are already obtaining wisdom and value, go ahead and follow this podcast, because there's going to be a lot more episodes just like this. So let's move on to the topic. Being pretty is not enough. I think a lot of us grow up with this idea that being beautiful is what's going to save us. If I put on better makeup, if I do my hair this certain way, if I look this certain way, if I put on certain clothes, then my life is going to be easier. I'm going to feel complete. But that is a lie that the world keeps on feeding you and me, okay? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I fell for this, okay, as well, my whole life. As a kid, I'm not going to lie to you, as a kid, I was chubbier. I was a bigger size ever since I was little. And, you know, my grandparents, people around me would tell me, Daniela, go lose weight. You're not pretty enough. All these different things. Guys wouldn't like me. All the things that you guys hear, right? And playing the victim, right? And I didn't feel enough. And so it made me think, okay, if I lose this weight, which I did, then I'm going to get all the things that I want. Because all those girls who I saw on YouTube, whatever, I was a little kid, so they didn't have YouTube, but, on the playgrounds, whatever, they would get the cute boy's number, or they would get the cute clothes and all of those things. And, those cute clothes didn't really fit me, unfortunately. That experience did humble me. But why I'm talking about this is because even when I lost the weight, I still didn't feel complete. I still didn't feel like I was worthy, even though I thought that, okay, if I look a certain way, then I'm going to feel a certain way. But that is not true, okay? Because it all is internally. It is not externally. And I'm going to give you another example. I also recall a time where I thought, okay, if I dress a certain way, if I do these certain things, then a guy is going to like me. And I did all those things, and I got the guy that I wanted, I thought, the guy that I thought I wanted, and he liked me, but he liked me for the wrong reasons. He liked me for the person I was pretending to be, not who I was or who I am. And I felt so used, because he didn't like me for who I was before. He liked me for who I was pretending to be. And that was a deep wound, because when I was changing myself for that person, I had lost all the very beautiful things that I loved about myself. And I lost that, and I wasn't in tune with myself anymore. And actually, that relationship became toxic, and I had to, remove myself from even being in contact with that person, because that person only liked me for a person who that wasn't even me. And so if you are going to, for example, fall in love with someone, I do not recommend pretending to be someone you are not. because that is not what beauty really is. And I want to dive into what is the definition of being beautiful, because it's not pretending to be this picture perfect person. Like, that doesn't exist in this world. Beauty is really about being yourself. It's really about being in tune with who God has created you to be. That is what beauty really is. And that is what we should strive to be. That is the beauty we should strive for. I understand what it feels like to wake up every single day and feel like you are not enough, to feel like you want to be somebody else. Okay, I understand what it feels like to confuse attention with love. I understand what it feels like to chase beauty from a wounded place. But you want to know something else? You know what I know today? You do not get free by being prettier, okay? You get free by taking your worth back. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. We are getting our worth back today. And I wanted to go over my backstory because I want you guys to know that I understand what you guys are going through. I understand what feeling not enough feels like, because I have battled with this my whole life. And that's why I believe I'm an amazing example to be talking about this, because life has hit hard for me. But I keep on going and knowing that, like, I am worthy of the things that God has placed within my soul. And I'm going to continue because I know He's got me. And I want you guys to feel that confidence. This life isn't worth living if you keep on feeling like you are not enough. Because all of that is just false, okay? It's all a perception. It's all this, it's an illusion to keep you wanting more and more and more. But that wanting will only lead you to endless aching, to this this desire that doesn't even exist, because nothing is going to complete you as much as Jesus is. Most of us girls, we grew up being taught to evaluate ourselves externally before even understanding who we are within. If we really think about it, before we understand the actual meaningful things, like what is our voice, what are our likes, our gifts, what's our purpose, who we are in God, we are forced to know if people think we're pretty or not. And we keep on hearing this voice. If you're not pretty, then you're not going to get attention, okay? If you're not pretty, you're not going to be validated. If you're not pretty, then you won't get compliments. Pretty is what matters. That is all a lie. And I know that's wrapped up in our brains, because after years of hearing that, of course, we start living that out. We start believing that our appearance is the most important thing about us. It's the most interesting thing about us. And that starts creating this quiet pressure to maintain ourselves like a product. Like, we literally start becoming these dolls. And living like this, it's exhausting because you are not living, okay? And by the way, that is not confidence, that's surveillance. Because you're not living in your body. You may look good, okay? You may look good. I promise you, I understand it, right? You may look good, whatever. You may be getting the attention you want. But you're watching yourself. You're watching your body. You're not enjoying the moment, okay? You are wondering, what do people think of me right now? Do I look good in this photo? If you live like that, you are going to live such a sad life, because it's going to be so unfulfilling, because everyone has a different view of what beauty is and what is beautiful. Some people like black hair, some people like brown hair, some people like blonde hair, some people like dark skin, some people like light skin, some people like big noses, some people like whatever, small nose, all these little things, you know what I mean? Like, beauty is so relative. That's why we shouldn't, base our identity or our value on that. And you know what's so sad? Social media has made this even worse, because before, back in the old days, I'm too young to know this, right? But back in my parents' age, or if you're older than 20, then maybe your age. But, people would compare themselves with the girls around them or with magazines. But now we are comparing ourselves with millions of people every single day. And that right there, that's not healthy. Come on. That is not healthy. But we are faced with this reality, and we have to fight that. We have to fight the expectation to look like this picture perfect girl, because that is all a facade. Because those women, they just have perfect lighting, edited bodies, perfect angles, perfect aesthetics. They have it all to a T, so they can appear a certain way, so that you can like their videos, so that you can buy their products, so that it's all a promotion, it's all selling. Unfortunately, a lot of women don't know this, and leads to you thinking that something's wrong with you, or that why don't I look like this person? Why? Like, and thinking that you are a mistake, which you're not, okay? Those people are just hidden behind filters. And that's where I want to go deeper, because social media is not showing you how to be beautiful anymore, okay? No. It's way deeper than that, okay? Social media is showing you how to perform desirability. It's teaching girls how to look wanted, how to look expensive, how to look unbothered, how to look like they have options, how to look like they have every man that they could ever desire. Do you hear that part? Look, appear, not be, appear. Because it's all an image. It's not real. It's online. It's a perception. It's an illusion. And that's where a lot of women are confusing desirability with love, okay? For example, a lot of women nowadays are posting provocative images of themselves. A lot of women are trying to look the certain way so they can get more attention because they're hungry. They're hungry for people to say that they're beautiful. They're hungry for validation. They're hungry for someone to say that they matter, because that's where they find their identity, from what other people say, okay? And I just want to let you know that that attention, that should not affect you. Like, if you are really within yourself, if you truly know yourself, that the opinions of others do not matter, and it shouldn't, because one day they can think you're beautiful, the other day they can say you're ugly, and then if you actually believe it, that affects your life, and that's just not a sustainable way to live. And that's why I want you to know the difference, because being wanted is not the same as being known. Because girl, you can have all the men in the DMs and still feel lonely. You can have people calling you and still not be seen by them. And you can have all these eyes on you and still feel unseen. That is the part that I think this generation needs to hear, because attention does not heal the wound within you. It actually distracts the pain from you for a little while, but it always lingers back, because the feeling will come again. So then you'll post again to get that attention, so you fix it for a little while. Or you'll scroll again to forget the pain. Or you'll compare again. Or you will do anything to try to ease that pain instead of heal it. And that's where I want you to question yourself. Are you doing what you're doing because you want validation, or is it because it actually comes, it outflows from you? Is it actually coming within you from your own beauty, from what you think is beautiful? Or is it coming from, oh, if I post this, then these people are going to like it. If I post this, then this guy is going to comment. Because that shouldn't be the main reason, or the reason you're posting something. It should be because you think it's beautiful, or you should post it because you know it's going to impact someone in a positive way, not because you're going to get attention, but because someone else is going to get value, someone else is going to get laughter. That's how you should be thinking about it. And I want your brain to switch to that mindset, because you'll live a life that is a lot more fulfilled than if you keep on waiting for someone to tell you that you are beautiful, or that you are pretty, or that you are worth something. Because if you want the confidence that you say you want, you're gonna have to realize what's actually going on within here. Because to be confident means to know yourself. To be confident means that you love yourself. To be confident is that you know who you are in Christ. To be confident, it means that you are okay with other people not liking you, and you still define yourself as worthy. That is what confidence truly is, okay? Because confidence, when you have true confidence, it is not bendable. It's not malleable. Okay, it is a trait that you automatically have because you know your worth. That is what confidence is. You can pretend you're confident, but a lot of times it's insecurity with better lighting, okay? Or it's loneliness with makeup on. Or it's a wounded girl trying to prove she is desirable because deep down she still does not feel she's worthy. Confidence can be painted on you, okay? But you can tell when a woman is confident or not, because the mask will come off right away with just a little push of a button. I want you to get stronger. I want you to be confident. And that's where you have to do the inner work yourself. I can't do it for you, but I can motivate you. I can push you to do it. And I really hope that you do listen to this, and that you feel that you are ready enough to open those wounds, brave enough to open those wounds, and understand what inside me, what inside my inner child has made me feel this way. What lies have I filled within myself that I need to release, and what new truths do I need to add to my life? And I really do hope that this podcast is helping you understand the truth that you should have in your life so you can elevate who you are as an individual. Because you cannot heal what you pretend is not there, because those wounds are in there and you need to face them. You don't have to live off of validation anymore, okay? There is more for you than waiting for someone to approve of you. There is more, and I want you to experience that more because it feels so much lighter than it is to carry the crown of being enough. And let's talk about beauty standards, okay? Because one year, the trend is being really skinny. The next year it's being curvy. The next year it's being an alien. I don't even know. Nowadays, things are getting crazy, okay, with what's deemed as pretty, okay? But what I'm trying to get at here is that beauty standards in the world, it goes up and down, left and right, like all these different directions. And us women, we can't keep up, okay? We cannot. That's why you have to reshape your mind, okay? Because I came to this realization and I thought, I was actually appalled. I was like, wow, I need to pause. I needed to pause because for a long time I tried to go with the trends. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't. I have to mean that's it, okay? But what was happening was, I asked myself, why do I keep reshaping myself to trying to fit trends that are going to disappear within 5 years? Because the trends go and come back, go and come back. Beauty standards, they're just trends. Okay, get that in your head. They're just trends. They are not truth. Beauty standards are not the truth. Think about that. That's crazy. Like, that deserves a pause. Because I know a lot of us, we listen to social media, we listen to the world, and we're always trying to change the image that the world wants us to change into. But I'm telling you, that is exhausting and there's no need. There is no need. We need to stop building permanent insecurity around temporary trends. I'm going to say it again because that one hit, okay? So we need to stop building permanent insecurity around temporary trends. The beauty standards of this world is temporary. Your soul is permanent. Who you are, what you look like, you can't change. So why not love it? And loving what you look like is very, very hard. And when you don't love what you look like, it leads to jealousy. Because we look around us and we see this girl who gets what she wants and you get jealous. Or this girl who has the body that you want and you get jealous. Or the hair that you want and you get jealous. Jealousy, it really does start creeping in when you don't love the life that you have or even own it, okay? And that's where we need to talk about this, okay? Because I don't think a lot of us, we admit this because we always say, we're not jealous. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous. And we usually carry this bitterness within us when we pretend that we're not jealous, okay? When you're truly not jealous, you will not carry this bitterness. You will not carry this sense of insecurity or instability that someone's going to take your place because you understand there's enough room for everybody. There's enough opportunities for everybody. And that's where I want you to change your perception on having successful women around you or beautiful women around you. You want those people around your space, okay? Because you are who you hang around with, right? If you want to be better, you should have successful women around you. If you want to grow into your higher self, you should want people who understand themselves better to be around you so they can give you insight. To stop seeing someone as competition and see someone who we can grow with instead. That is the view that you should have. And I totally understand this because I am a victim of this. I do this all the time. I'm not going to lie to you, where I'm like, oh, why does this girl have this? And I'll even turn off my phone because I'm mad about it. I understand having that bitterness. I understand having the sense of jealousy, okay? But you need to understand who you are, who God created you to be, and be okay with it. Love it, embrace it, be proud of it, because there's no one else like you. So love yourself, Okay, because if you love yourself, you're going to be able to love others better. You are going to be able to spread that love within every area of your life. That's why it's very important to understand that being pretty is not enough, but understanding who you are, that is the antidote. That is how you will be able to live an abundant life. And here's the difference, because when you know who you are, this is how you are going to feel, okay? You are not going to need to be the only beautiful woman in the room, okay? You're not going to need to compete with every single woman who walks into your life. You're not going to secretly need to shrink her in your mind to feel bigger. If you are doing those things, that shows that you are insecure about yourself and your qualities. Because a secure woman, she celebrates beauty in other people because she is not disconnected from her own beauty. She actually embraces her beauty. She is proud of her own beauty. And that leads to freedom around her. There's peace in not carrying the weight of jealousy or trying to be better than someone else. Because you know what's for you is going to be for you. And girl, this is the kind of woman I want to become, and I bet that that's the type of woman that you want to become. Your uniqueness is not the problem. The world has just taught you to distrust it. This is where I want to bring God into this podcast, okay? I'm going to ask you a question. If God, who created you intentionally, if he thought of you and he formed you, and if he gave you your face, your smile, your body, your features, your personality, all of you for a purpose, then why are we letting the world tell us that he has made a mistake? Because every single time that you doubt your beauty, every single time that you doubt your gifts, every single time that you doubt who you are or what you were brought on this earth to do, you are doubting what God created within you. You are doubting God's creation. Are you really doubting what God did for you? What he's doing within you? Who are we to doubt God? I don't think any of us have the right for that. Love every single part of yourself. Every single part. You need to stop wishing you had another face, that you had another body, that you had another this or that. Because if you keep on doing that, that just means that you are doubting what God is doing within you. The reason he gave you the life that you have, the reason he gave you the features that you have and all these beautiful things is because it is made for a purpose. I don't know what that purpose is, but you deep down know. So love your journey, love what you look like, and love what you do. You are not a mistake. And if you're here on earth, if you're breathing right now, it's for a purpose. It's for a reason. So keep on trusting. Stop letting the world tell you if you are valuable or not. Give that worth to yourself because God has given that to you freely. And girl, you were not created to look like every other girl. You were not created to be a photocopy of a specific beauty standard. You were not created so your whole life could be edited to look like someone else's, okay? God created your own beauty. He gave you your own softness, your own strength, your own presence, your own personality, your own difference. Love all of it. That's where a lot of women lose themselves because they're so busy trying to become the kind of beautiful that is approved by the world that they forget the beauty that God already placed within them. Because the world will always tell you that something's missing because it's trying to sell to you. But God is not looking at you like a product to sell. God is not looking at you like a number to gain. He sees you as your creation. He sees you as valuable. He sees you as worthy. So stop letting strangers with filters tell you what beauty is, okay? Stop looking at the world and look at Jesus. The world will keep on changing the definition of beauty, but God will keep on reminding you of your worth. You are not beautiful because someone says so. You are beautiful because God made you with intention. And the more you start seeing yourself through his eyes, the less power the world has to make you hate what he created. And that right there, that is powerful. And you are beautiful. I may not be looking at you right now, but I know you're beautiful, okay? I know you're fine. If you're listening to this podcast, you're fine, like automatically, okay? And I know a lot of women carry this silent fear that if they stop trying so hard to be beautiful, then they'll lose their value. But I'm telling you this, you were never created to be worshipped. You were never created to be admired. You were created to impact people. Attention is not the same as impact. Being desired is not the same as being deeply valued. Because if you think about it, the most admired people that we know are usually the most unhappiest. What does that tell you? Pretty alone does not create peace. Pretty does not automatically create confidence. Pretty does not create purpose, emotional security, or self-love. It doesn't just give you that. No, it doesn't. I want you to get out of this cycle because perfection is impossible. It's impossible. No one is perfect. This is why women, we feel trapped. We feel like we have to keep on self-modifying ourselves. We keep on having to look like the next girl. Okay, hot girl summer. Or okay, what's another trend? I'm not into trends, but all these different things. Like, oh, let's go on this diet. Let's look like this girl. Okay, we have to look like that celebrity or that model. Okay, and we always feel like we need to fix one little thing. Okay, no, I have to lose 10 pounds. I have to look better. I have to be more acceptable. Okay, but who do we need to be acceptable for? That's what you need to be asking yourself. What am I chasing? Who am I trying to become? Who am I trying to impress? Is it them or is it God and myself? Because their approval does not matter as much as what I believe and what God tells me that I am. Because if the world keeps on defining your beauty, the world will always keep on moving the finish line, okay, to another spot. That's why all of us, we keep on feeling tired, we keep on feeling anxious, we keep on feeling incomplete. Because we are chasing a standard that was never meant to let us rest. And I want you to hear that truth. And right now you're hearing me, which is great. You're hearing something very, very positive. But I want to dive into who you are watching, because a lot of influencers do not care if their content is messing with your perception of life, because I promise you it is. Because a lot of what you're watching is not there to make you feel whole, but it is there to make you keep watching. It's there to make you buy more. It's there so that you can feel bad about your life and start loving their life more. That is how the world sells to you. And it makes you feel like something's missing. Okay, I need more. And it makes you believe that, okay, I need to change more about myself. And what does that lead to? Buying stuff, money. Believe their abundance means your lack. So you try to get a little bit of their abundance in a way that's not going to fulfill you. Because their dream body, their face, their relationship, all these things, it's not the full picture, because they have insecurities too. They experience loneliness too. They experience all the normal human experiences that we have every single day. The difference is they have learned to mask it so it seems that they have the perfect life, that they have everything together. No one does. No one has everything together, I promise you, okay? And that's why you need to remove that mask and see the good editing behind it, the good lighting, the right angle. They have created this picture. It's not real. It's not real, okay? You are getting the version that they want you to see, not the reality. So stop comparing your real life to a packaged version of theirs, because it's not their reality. It's not true. They have pains just like us. A lot of people are masking their own problems to sell you a dream. They are making you believe that if you buy the product, if you do the routine, if you buy the course, all these different things, then you are going to feel complete. But a screen will not complete you. Because what's happening is that you believe your life is not interesting, okay? You have stopped noticing what God is doing right in front of you, okay? You have stopped creating beauty in your actual day. You have stopped going outside. You have stopped experiencing life for yourself, and you have now been living through a screen. But I'm telling you now, you do not have to escape your own life. You can make your life feel interesting and all these different things all over again. You can make your life feel good, not for a camera, not for a post, not for someone to validate you, but for yourself. Have you ever thought about that? What makes you light up? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel you? Figure that out, explore that, discover it, and understand what you are here to do. Why has God brought you here on earth? Because God has given you a life here to live, not to compare. And like I've been saying in this podcast, your beauty should not be physical. It should not be through who you look like physically. Your beauty should come from within. Because those type of women who have character, who have drive, who have impact, those are the women who are unforgettable, okay? Because when I think about the women who have impacted me, or the women that I think about the most, I don't think about their beauty. I think about their depth. That's what I think about. I think about their warmth. I think about how intelligent they are. I think about their presence. I see how they impact people, how they make people feel loved and safe, and how they carry peace and love all around them. You feel their abundance. You also can feel how emotionally intelligent they are, their standards, and most importantly, you feel that they are living with purpose. And that's what you remember. That is magnetic. Those are the women that people never forget. Because beauty, yes, it attracts attention, but depth leaves an impact. There is something generally so powerful about a woman who loves herself, who knows herself, who loves every single part of herself and her life. You can feel it because she stops apologizing for who she is, for her features. She stops shrinking herself. She stops trying to become this desirable thing that everyone wants because she knows her worth. And this is something I need to tell you. Because being pretty should be literally the least interesting thing about you. Because you are capable of so much more. Being beautiful, it's awesome. But I know that there's so much more to you. There's so much more depth. But you can build businesses. You can change lives. You can lead people. You can create impact. You can do all these different things. But unfortunately, a lot of women are limiting themselves by making beauty the highest goal, the highest achievement. But my love, you are so much more than something good to look at. You're not a decoration. You are not just an aesthetic. You're not just a body or a person for someone to approve of. You are a whole human being with gifts, with purpose, intelligence, emotions, a beautiful spirit, and impact within you. You have so much potential, so go for it. You can become the woman who is unforgettable. That is achievable. I'm telling you, it is possible. But you are going to have to take the inner work that it's going to take to break the lies that you have held so nearly to your heart, because it is limiting you. It is stopping you from being the woman that you want to become. Take off the weight of trying to be enough for everybody else and know that you are already enough within Christ. Okay, I think this podcast has gone on long enough. I really do hope that this has impacted you and it shows you who you are in Christ and who you were made to become, because there's so much more than you than just a pretty face. I know this, okay? And I really do hope that you got value from this. If you did, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, go ahead and follow this channel. I'm trying to get at least 100 by August. That's the goal. So we'll see if we get there. But I know that great things are coming. And yeah, I really do hope this microphone also made a big difference and you hear my voice clearly and you actually hear my thoughts even better. But yeah, okay, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I want you guys to know that I hope you keep on elevating your lives, keep trusting God, and keep becoming the woman you were created to be. Okay, I think that's it. I'll see you guys in the next episode.